Hi, I'm Sam here with a piano that I very much enjoyed playing. This was a pleasure to play. Pleasure to work on too. I just tuned it earlier today. It's a Yamaha model G3 built in Hamamatsu, Japan in 1979, which has had some work done to it in the past. About 15-ish years ago, it received a new set of strings, tuning pins, I believe a pin block too, but otherwise it's original. And encouragingly, we received the piano with a climate control system already installed in it. This is the Piano Lifesaver made by Damp Chaser in North Carolina. They've been the industry standard for piano-focused climate control mechanisms in this country since the 40s. They've been around a long time. What that is a humidistat which plugs into the wall, into a wall outlet, which is mounted right underneath the soundboard inside the piano, and it will either activate a humidifying mechanism or a dehumidifying mechanism, all tucked up underneath inside the inside carriage of the undercarriage of the piano where all the wooden beams are. And it's always dialing in, either turning one item on or off, turning the other one on, humidifier, dehumidifier, dialing it in right at 45% relative humidity. And that is what prevents the soundboard and other wooden components of the piano, but mostly the soundboard, which is really crucial. It prevents that from expanding or contracting too much. Because as the humidity in the environment of the piano changes, the moisture content of the soundboard and the other wood in the piano will also change. And the reason why it's so crucial about a soundboard is because it's built up in the middle with a curvature by design. The bridges are mounted as close as possible as the manufacturer can make it to the middle of the soundboard where it resonates, and the strings are stretched across different parts of the plate, but they're pressing down over the bridge. And that's what imparts the string vibration through the bridge to the soundboard and amplifies it, which is why pianos have such a big sound. It's not unlike how a guitar or violin functions. But just like those other instruments, pianos are sensitive to humidity changes, and the most that you can do to maintain the humidity in the environment of the piano, we ask that you do the most that you can in order to make sure that's not changing, because that's less, the soundboard doesn't expand and contract as much, it's not pushing up and down the strings as much, it's not putting it out of tune as much, it's just less wear and tear on the wood of the piano, and a more stable tuning, and it sounds better. And it's a system, this Piano Lifesaver, we can install it in any other piano in our inventory that doesn't already have one, and we can do that for $798. But it's already included in the price of this piano. Previous owner took really good care of it. We were able to service the system. It's in really good condition. So that $798 value is included in the price of this piano. And technicians especially like to see this system already installed in the piano and being maintained by the owner. We do have a demonstration video on our website, by the way, which you can watch after this. I think it's the first question on our frequently asked questions page, how do I deal with humidity on the piano? We demonstrate how this system is operated. And while you're at it, you can also take a look at the picture slideshow of this piano while you're listening to this video. I think you'll find it to be really a beautiful piece of furniture. The previous owner took really good care of this piano. Everything was clean. I tuned it just earlier today. It's very cooperative. Everything, all the tuning, everything is very clear, which is normal for Yamahas, in my opinion. But this one is in especially good condition. It's really hard to see any blemishes on the finish anywhere. Really beautiful inside and out. And musically, as I said, quite enjoyable too. I honestly didn't expect this piano to have as much dynamic range as it does. It reminded me a bit more of a Yamaha C3, which was the same size piano, 6'1", but it was designed to have a wider range on purpose, and they are generally more expensive than G3s. But this one reminded me a lot of that. It had a similar sort of richness and color in the tone, and a wide dynamic range. Play loudly, it gets bright and brilliant and bold, and the melodies really sing and project. You play really softly, you can get a really warm, very delicate, soft sound, very gentle, and then you got all the subtlety available to you in between. It's exactly what I would look for in a piano for my own home, and if I didn't already have a grand at home, I wouldn't mind having this. That's how much I like it. It sings, and it was really enjoyable to play. Strictly speaking, with respect to mellowness or brightness, I'll call this piano a 5 on the scale from 1 to 10, right in the middle. And you can push it closer to 6 or 7, depending on how loud you play, or 4 or 3 if you play really softly. It's just the piano has that dynamic range, and it brings out the brightness or the mellowness that it's capable of, depending on how you play. And whether if the music you play calls for one or the other, or both at different times, this piano is ready to deliver that for you and make it sound good too. So I'm very pleased with that. And the touch I thought was very agreeable, very smooth and neutral. Not too hard, not too easy. I had a enjoyable time playing it because I don't myself like too much of a firm touch. I also didn't find it to be too easy. It was still very much controllable, and it felt substantial whenever I needed to play more quietly. So 5 is what I'll call the touch on a scale from 1 to 10 also, from light to firm, right in the middle. The piano does also have a middle pedal sostenuto, like what you would see on a Steinway Grand. Not all Yamaha G series Grands from this time period had a sostenuto, but this one does. And if you don't know how it works, it would work by, if you select notes on the keyboard, hold them down, then depress the middle pedal, normally with your left foot, it will only keep the dampers in the up position for the notes you pre-selected. All the other notes behave normally with or without the right pedal. It's like having the third hand holding down notes on the keyboard for you. So if you're a student and your teacher requires you to have that sostenuto, some teachers have to have it, some teachers don't care at all. It just depends on what music you play. Rest assured this piano has it and it works on all the dampers. And of course, like everything else we sell, it has a 10-year warranty, all parts and labor, and 100% lifetime trade-up guarantee. Just please make sure to have it tuned twice a year by a technician, and to keep it in a moderate environment of humidity, which will be made a whole lot easier with that system already installed, fortunately. So please come out and see this piano for yourself. I'm very impressed with how this turned out. I think you will be too if you were to see it yourself. But if you can't make it, you can always give us a phone call or send us an email if you have any questions. Thanks.